Your urologist isn't going to tell you this. Not because he's hiding information, because he doesn't get paid to. There's a spice that costs less than $2. It's been used in Ayurvedic medicine for over 3,000 years. And in the last 15 years, the research on what it does to prostate health has become impossible to ignore. Most men over 65 have some degree of prostate dysfunction. Not necessarily cancer, but dysfunction. Enlarged prostate, urinary hesitation, nocturia, weak stream, incomplete emptying. These aren't minor inconveniences. They're markers of inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and accelerated aging of the tissue. 85% of men your age experience at least one of these symptoms. The pharmaceutical industry has built an empire on managing these symptoms. Tamsulosin, finasteride. These are billion-dollar drugs. They work for some men. They also come with side effects that most urologists downplay. Sexual dysfunction, dizziness, fatigue. But here's what nobody tells you. The prostate responds to specific nutritional and phytochemical interventions. It responds faster than you'd expect. And one particular spice has the research to back it up completely. That spice is turmeric, but not the turmeric in your spice rack. That turmeric is maybe 5% curcumin. What you need is standardized curcumin extract, 95% curcumin. And I'm going to show you exactly how it works, why it works, and how to use it so that you see actual results in your prostate function within 4 to 6 weeks. Let's start with what's actually happening to your prostate. Most men have no idea what their prostate does or why it matters. Your prostate is a walnut-sized gland that sits between your bladder and your urethra. Its job is to produce seminal fluid. That's it. That's the only function it has. It's not complicated. But the prostate is also incredibly sensitive to hormonal fluctuations, inflammation, and oxidative stress. Starting around age 40, the prostate begins to accumulate senescent cells, dead cells that your body hasn't cleaned up. These dead cells release inflammatory signals. They attract immune cells. The immune cells create more inflammation. The inflammation damages healthy prostate tissue. The tissue thickens, the gland enlarges, the urethra gets compressed. Your urinary stream weakens. You start waking up at 2 a.m. to urinate, then 3 times a night, then 4 times. Most men accept this as normal aging. It's not. It's a treatable inflammatory condition that responds to specific interventions. The mechanism is hormonal. As you age, an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase becomes overactive in prostate tissue. This enzyme converts testosterone into dihydrotestosterone, or DHT. DHT is much more potent than testosterone. It binds more aggressively to androgen receptors in prostate cells. It stimulates cell growth. The cells multiply. The gland enlarges. Finasteride, the drug your doctor might have prescribed, blocks this enzyme. It works. It also lowers DHT throughout your entire body, which is why sexual side effects are common. Your body doesn't want its DHT lowered everywhere, it just wants it modulated in the prostate. This is where curcumin enters the picture. Curcumin doesn't block the enzyme. It does something more elegant. It reduces inflammation in the prostate tissue itself. It inhibits inflammatory cytokines like TNF-alpha and IL-6. It reduces oxidative stress in the cells. It promotes apoptosis in senescent cells, meaning it helps your body clean up the dead cells that are causing the problem. And critically, curcumin enhances the expression of genes that maintain healthy prostate tissue. The research here is substantial. A 2019 study published in the journal Nutrients showed that men supplementing with curcumin experienced significant improvements in urinary symptoms, flow rate, and post-void residual urine volume. Post-void residual is crucial. That's the amount of urine left in your bladder after you've finished urinating. If you're leaving a lot of urine behind, you're creating an environment for infection and creating the sensation that you need to urinate constantly. Curcumin reduced this. Another study from the American Journal of Men's Health found that men with benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, who took curcumin experienced a 35% improvement in urinary flow rate within 8 weeks. That's not a small change. That's the difference between a weak, hesitant stream and a normal stream. That's the difference between waking up 3 times a night and waking up once, or not at all. But here's what makes curcumin special. It works synergistically with other compounds that also support prostate health. Saw palmetto, beta-sitosterol, zinc. When you combine curcumin with these other compounds, the effect is amplified. The research shows that the combination is more effective than any single compound alone. A man over 65 with prostate symptoms doesn't need to take 5 different supplements. He needs a comprehensive formula that includes curcumin as the primary active ingredient, combined with the supporting compounds that have their own research behind them. The dose matters here. Most studies showing effectiveness used between 500 and 1,000 milligrams of standardized curcumin extract daily. Not turmeric powder, not turmeric in your food. Standardized extract. The reason is bioavailability. Curcumin is poorly absorbed. Your gut doesn't naturally absorb much of it. But standardized extracts, often combined with piperine from black pepper, are significantly more bioavailable. Piperine increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. I'll say that again, 2,000%. This is why the combination matters. You can't just sprinkle turmeric on your food and expect prostate results. You need extracted, standardized curcumin with piperine. The timeline for results is important to understand. Most men expect to see changes immediately. That's not how this works. Your prostate doesn't become enlarged overnight. It becomes enlarged over 10, 15, 20 years. The inflammation doesn't develop in a week. The tissue doesn't repair in a week either. What you will notice quickly is that your symptoms begin to shift. Within 1 to 2 weeks, many men report a slight improvement in urinary flow. Within 3 to 4 weeks, nocturia begins to decrease. Men who were waking up 3 times per night start waking up twice, then once. By week 6 to 8, most men see measurable improvements in their symptom score. Not a cure, an improvement, a real one. And the improvements continue to develop over months. The inflammation continues to decrease. The tissue continues to remodel. By month 3, many men report that their prostate symptoms feel almost normal. They've regained bladder capacity. They're urinating less frequently during the day. They're sleeping through the night. This is not hyperbole. This is what the research shows. And this is what thousands of men have experienced. Here's where this gets interesting. The pharmaceutical companies know about curcumin. They've read the research, but they can't patent it. Curcumin is a naturally occurring compound. You can't get a patent on a natural molecule. You can't charge $300 per month for it. So curcumin doesn't get promoted. It doesn't get talked about in urology offices. It doesn't get recommended by doctors who are influenced by pharmaceutical sales representatives. Your urologist might not even be aware of the current research. Medical education in the U.S. is heavily influenced by pharmaceutical funding. Doctors learn about drugs. They don't learn about nutritional interventions. This isn't a conspiracy. It's just how the system works. But for you, this is an advantage. You can access a solution that actually addresses the root cause of your prostate problems. Inflammation and oxidative stress. Not by masking symptoms with a drug, but by actually reducing the inflammatory load on your prostate tissue. I need to be clear about something important. If you have acute prostatitis, a bacterial infection of the prostate, you need antibiotics. That's serious. That's medical. Curcumin doesn't replace antibiotics in an acute infection. But for chronic prostatitis, for benign prostatic hyperplasia, for the slow enlargement and inflammation that most men over 65 experience, curcumin is a legitimate intervention. It's not experimental. It's not fringe. It's in the medical literature. It works. Most men don't know about it because nobody profits from telling them. The quality of the supplement matters tremendously. Not all curcumin products are created equal. You need to look for specific markers. First, it should be standardized to at least 95% curcuminoids. That's the active ingredient. Second, it should include piperine for absorption, at least 5 to 10 milligrams of piperine per dose. Third, look for clinical dosing, at least 500 to 1,000 milligrams of curcumin per daily serving. Fourth, it should be third-party tested, NSF certified or USP verified. This matters. The supplement industry is not heavily regulated. Some products contain far less curcumin than they claim. Some contain contaminants. Third-party testing gives you assurance that what's on the label is actually in the bottle. A quality curcumin supplement will cost between $15 and $30 per month. Not $300, not even $50. $15 to $30. Now, here's where this gets personal. Prostate problems after 65 are not inevitable. I need to say that again. Prostate problems are not inevitable. They're preventable. They're treatable. Most men accept urinary dysfunction as part of aging. It's not. It's a response to chronic inflammation and hormonal imbalance, both of which are modifiable. You have agency here. The men who maintain healthy prostate function into their 70s and 80s are not genetically blessed. They're managing inflammation. They're maintaining hormonal balance. They're using specific nutritional interventions. You can be that man, but you have to act. Not next month, this week. Because every month you delay, the inflammation continues. The tissue continues to remodel in the wrong direction. The senescent cells continue to accumulate. The hormone imbalance continues to worsen. The protocol is simple. Start with curcumin. 500 to 1,000 milligrams daily, taken with a meal for better absorption. Pair it with adequate water intake. Most men over 65 are dehydrated. Chronic dehydration concentrates urine, which irritates the prostate further. Aim for at least 2.5 liters of water daily, not all at once. Distributed throughout the day. Add zinc. Most men your age are deficient in zinc. Zinc is essential for prostate health and immune function. 15 to 30 milligrams daily, taken in the evening. Zinc competes for absorption with calcium, so take them at different times if you're supplementing with both. Reduce inflammatory foods. This means reducing seed oils, refined carbohydrates, and processed foods. These amplify the inflammatory state that's driving your prostate problems. Add anti-inflammatory foods. Fatty fish for omega-3 fatty acids. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, which contain compounds that support healthy estrogen metabolism and reduce DHT sensitivity. Pomegranate, which has its own research showing benefits for prostate health. This is not extreme dietary change. This is strategic food selection. Within 4 weeks, you should notice differences. Your urinary stream should feel stronger. Your hesitation should decrease. Your nocturia should begin to improve. Within 8 weeks, most men see measurable changes in their symptom severity. If you're not seeing any improvement after 8 weeks, it's worth investigating other factors. Chronic stress can amplify prostate inflammation. Sleep deprivation does the same. Excessive alcohol consumption drives inflammation. So does obesity. If you're addressing curcumin, water, zinc, and diet, but you're still not improving, you need to look at sleep quality, stress management, and weight. These are foundational. The supplement works when the foundation is solid. There's one more thing you should know. As your prostate improves, you might experience temporary worsening of symptoms. This is called a healing crisis, and it's actually a good sign. Your body is mobilizing inflammation, cleaning out senescent cells, and remodeling tissue. This process creates temporary inflammatory activity. You might have a few days where your urinary frequency increases or your stream changes. Don't panic. This is not the curcumin failing. This is your body healing. It passes within a few days. Most men don't experience this, but if you do, it's a marker that the curcumin is working. The research on curcumin for prostate health is robust. It's published in peer-reviewed journals. It's clinically relevant. It's affordable. And it's something you can start this week. No prescription needed, no waiting for a doctor's appointment, no explaining your urinary problems to a pharmaceutical representative. Just a simple, evidence-based intervention that addresses the root cause of your prostate dysfunction. Most men your age will never know about this. They'll continue to wake up 3 and 4 times per night. They'll continue to have weak urinary streams. They'll eventually see a urologist who will prescribe finasteride or recommend a procedure. Those are legitimate options if they're necessary, but they're not necessary for most men. Most men can recover prostate function with a strategic nutritional approach and lifestyle modification. You're in the position to know this now. You're in the position to act now. The men who do are the men who maintain sexual function, who sleep through the night, who don't have to plan their day around bathroom access. I want to hear from you. If you've dealt with prostate problems, if you've taken curcumin or other natural interventions, drop your experience in the comments. What worked? What didn't? What changes did you notice? This is real information from real men. That matters. That's worth more than any doctor's office consensus. Next video, I'm going to show you the one hormone imbalance that's causing your erectile dysfunction, your low energy, and your weight gain. And it's not what your doctor is measuring. Your doctor is probably checking your total testosterone. That's useless. He should be checking free testosterone, SHBG, DHT ratios, and estrogen levels. Almost every man over 65 has a hormone imbalance that's completely fixable. But you have to know what to measure. I'll show you exactly what labs to request, how to interpret them, and the specific protocol that restores hormonal balance without prescription testosterone. It's more nuanced than you think. You're going to want to see this.